everyone, this is Sally with the Polka Dot Life. I am so happy that you've stopped by my channel today. My paper pumpkin kit has arrived this afternoon. I thought that we could take a look at the contents of the kit together, and then I will hop off of here and create a few alternatives and come back and we will make a card together. Okay, let's open our kit. All right, here we go. This is a different one and I'm kind of excited about it. Oh, how fun. First off, that grabs your attention is 3 pieces of bubblegum, double bubble. We have a Night of Navy Stampin' Spot. And let's look at our stamps. Okay, we have You're the Greatest of All Time, You're the Best, All-Star, a bat, a cap, Ever, Grandpa, Dad, Son, Uncle, Friend, Brother, Mom. I will say, I kind of think this is a little bit of a miss on Stampin' Up's part. I know that they are gearing this towards Father's Day, but there are thousands and thousands of girls that play softball, and I think that this kit could have included everyone. But I do like these big stamps. I think those are going to be really great. And this is the flyer about next month's kit, and it is going to be awesome. If you love the photo on the front of the catalog and that Expressions in Ink suite, you are going to love this. It is tied to work together, and it will have 2 ink spots in it. We don't know the colors, but it just says Expressions in Color, and so it will have 2 ink spots. And let me just read this little blurb to you, and it says, innovate inspiring ink stain projects with June's Paper Pumpkin Kit, featuring colors from Stampin' Up's unique in-color collections for 2020 to 2022 and 21 to 23. And so I think that we'll have 2 ink spots that we've probably not had before. And you'll have enough supplies to create 9 cards and coordinating envelopes, including 2 Stampin' Spots, and as always, exclusive stamp set. It's all wrapped up in a cute, colorful, collectible box. So it says classic Stampin' Spots, so I don't know. It might be in colors, it might not, but it kind of sounds like it might be. You want to make sure that you are signed up for your paper pumpkin kit on or before June 9. So let's go back into our kit. And pull our pretty cool paper, tissue paper out. And I'm going to remove the box. Let me grab my scissors here again. And let's dig into this. I kind of want to be careful. I'm stabbing away here. Let's open our wrapping and see what's inside. It's already looking pretty fun. All right. We have some white thread and some full-size dimensionals. Oh, we got some flat enamel dots in this, and I see a red and a yellow. You know, let's kind of back up here. Let's go back here for a second and see just what the colors are. Bumblebee, Night of Navy, Pacific Point, Real Red, Smoky Slate, and Soft Suede. I think this is probably a good thing to start here. I see that it's a thicker instruction, and I heard this was coming, but oh, this is great. This is a big improvement on the directions, because the directions were always a little bit vague. So this tells us where to put dimensionals, how to put on this twine bow, how things are kind of assembled, and they're all in color. This tells you what color ink and a block and what sentiment to use, all sorts of things. So I think that this is a very, very big improvement. And so you can see the 3 suggested cards this month. And I think that these are super, super cute, just as they are. So we will see what I come up with an alternative, but I like these just the way they are. And then on the back, it shows you what all should be in your kit and some of their suggested alternatives. So we said these are Real Red and Bumblebee. Let's scooch down through envelopes. They kind of look all the same. They are not lined the entire way down. I wish they were, because that's a pretty, pretty pattern. But this stripe is only on the flap. Yes. So it looks like we have card bases. We have some with this, like a starburst, kind of funkadelic, or sort of British looking if you cut it apart. Let's see here. We have these very nice pinstripe, and we have, it looks solid and kind of muddy, a soft suede color, but it's actually a wood grain. These are some die cuts, and so it looks like a home plate, a baseball. You're in a league of your own, some ball bats, a all-star beginner, and this is just a rectangle, and it is the red with the bumblebee stripes, and then a little, just a little shape, a little rectangle shape there in the Real Red. And you get several sheets of these. I think 3 if my fingers are working correctly. And then a little area that you can stamp. I'm guessing it's with the dad, brother, son, those kind of things there. And then the usual glue dots and chipboard. So I will look these over, and I will be back with some alternative projects for you. We need to start out today by doing a little cutting, and we're going to start by cutting off one of our envelope flaps. And I don't actually mind cutting it off because you can't really see that anyway, and it doesn't go on down through. So you can keep this if you want, or you can throw it away. You can do whatever you want with that. Okay, I'm putting the envelope up here because I want to cut it so that it's not as narrow there for a few minutes anyway. Let's try not to waste too much, but let's see here. Okay, let's turn it, and I want this to be 1.5 inches. We're just going to make a simple square. And I'm excited to use Pacific Point. I'm not normally a blue person, but Pacific Point is my favorite of the blues, now that Seaside Spray is gone. So, again, just making that into a square. We'll just set this aside, and we'll push these pieces to the side as well. And then we are going to take our funkadelic looking card base and simply cut off the red and white portion. And again, you can keep this for sentiments. I really haven't paid attention. It used to be that our whites in our paper pumpkin kit were a different shade of white than our basic, well, at that time, whisper white, but I haven't done a comparison of this and the basic white. Let's see. Actually, I have a piece. It's still a little bit different, but it still works. But if you would prefer to cut your sentiments or something out of this, just keep a hold of this. Okay, to start with, we are going to slide this over to the 3 1/4 mark, and we're just going to cut this portion off because I am going to use that in another card. Okay, we are going to turn our paper around so the design is this way, and we are going to move this to 3 inches. Just, you can use this on an inside of a card or whatever you would like. Okay, we have our pattern facing this way. And just so you have a visual, these little longer stripes are going to be towards the bottom. And we're going to line this up with 3 inches. And just give it a cut. And you can hang on to this. And this is the portion we'll use today. And so we have our wood grain card base. If you choose to make your cards as intended, but still would like to make this card, you could use the In Good Taste Designer Series papers. They have some wood grain backgrounds in that one too. And so we have our card base. And I just kind of want to see how I want to lay this out. And I'm going to use my tape runner today just to have maybe a little more forgiveness when it comes to lining these up. I made one other one, but I think I'm going to move this portion up a little bit more on the card to give it some more room at the bottom. And we want to just kind of line this up in the corner with this sunburst part, the sun part up at the top. Okay, I have the Pacific Point that has the adhesive. And let's see, that's kind of center, but I think I'm going to move it over just a tad because I want to cover up most of that sunburst part, the sun looking part. So I will use this thin line to kind of line it up. And I just kind of want to make sure that is straight. This is why I used the seal. Definitely, you would not want Seal Plus if you want to be able to move this around. Okay, there we go. And I did go ahead and stamp and cut out my sentiment just to save a little bit of time. And it says, "You're the best." And we're going to use dimensionals for that. And I had stamped it on the other side, but I didn't like the way it looks, so we flipped it over and did it again. And you will probably want to use your Stamparatus to do your stamping of this. It's one of those big, thick images. Except for, on one of my cards, I did some embossing, and I didn't like how it was working on the Stamparatus. Okay, found my Take Your Pick tool, and let's just pop these off. Just make sure I've got all of those. And we're going to put a little glue on them so we have some movement. And you kind of want to have a little space here towards the top where you're going to put this. We kind of just want it a little bit up into this, but not a lot. And so we're going to kind of slide this over. We kind of want to center it in here. And it kind of messes with your head with these stripes. So you just kind of want to look at the bottom and make sure that that is straight, because your eyes will like that better. And I have a star. And what I did is for the envelope, I used that extra piece. I used this extra piece, and I used the star die from the Hats Off set, and I just put it in these different areas and cut them so it matched a little bit better. And so I just kind of have to look close to see which is the grungy side. And okay, I think this is the side we put our glue on. It helps if you can just do it right away. I just sit mine aside for filming, but that way you remember on the white which way is which. And you just want to center that in our kind of little faux flag. I've got some glue peering out there. And then we're going to bring in our glue dot. And we're going to just put that between our fingers, soften it, make it a little smaller. And we're going to push that into the knot. And then we are just going to take this right here and push it up against and a little bit underneath that sentiment. And we can clip our tails. You want them usually always to be a little bit longer than your loop. And we still may have to adjust it. Well, that's sticking right along. And then I have some of our enamel dots, and I love these that they're the matte enamel dots. But I didn't really want any yellow on this card. In my stash, if you have any of all the trimmings embellishments from Christmas time, they have white in the same size. So I'm just going to put one of those there. And if you were really industrious, you could use these to fill in like stars up here if you wanted. But I am just going to use the red then for the other two, the real red ones. And I think I'm going to slide this one a little bit. Kind of want them to be on an angle here. There we go. Okay, then we have one last thing to do to our card, and we'll get our real red ink. And I have this little scrap of basic white. And depending on what sentiment you want, whether you want dad, son, grandpa, any of those things, I just inked mine up pretty well with this real red ink. And I just came in close to the bottom, kind of figuring I didn't have to make that straight. I thought I could, stamp that pretty straight. And then I'm just going to come in with my scissors, and I'm going to go across the top. And then I'm just going to angle this. And I'm going to go the same direction here and angle that. And then I am just going to adhere that on. And I'll be honest, today I'm going to use a glue dot. I think I'm going to probably take this off after we film because I'm not sure who I'm going to give this card to yet, but I want to show you how it's done. You could use liquid glue, or I wouldn't probably use the seal because it would be hard to line that up. But there, and I just thought this was super fun. I'm not going to put a stamp on the inside yet. I thought this could be a great Father's Day card for someone. This could be a nice birthday card for, especially for a man. We're always looking for masculine cards, and I think this could be a great birthday card for if they have a summer birthday near the 4th of July, any of those things. Or this could be you're the best friend if someone's invited you for a cookout for the 4th of July or Memorial Day, Labor Day, any of those kinds of things. That's also a great thing. I know a lot of towns have festivals in the summer, and I think that this layout would cover all of that. Maybe they have you over for a picnic, and it could be, thank you card. So just whatever. I just thought that this was a super, super fun card. And then my envelope, like I say, I cut stars out of those as well. I liked how that one turned out. And here is my next card. And again, I just kind of put this sentiment here on with a glue dot. I will probably take that off since I don't know exactly who I'm going to give it to, and just stamping this at the last minute is no big deal. This is the other piece we cut off, the Funkadelic piece. This is embossed with from the checks and dots folders. This is, of course, the checks. And I just did the baseball and the baseball bats. I will probably go ahead and glue these little things down. When I made this card, I forgot to kind of go back and do it. I just did the glue under the baseball till I got it lined up, and I wanted to let that dry before I went in and put a little piece of glue underneath here. This is popped up with dimensionals, and then I just wrapped this around and tied that bow. But I thought that turned out cute too. This one is probably my favorite. I originally grew up in Pennsylvania, and so most of our family and friends are Pittsburgh Pirate fans. And I couldn't let this set go without bringing in the hat's offset. And so I cut out this hat from the hat's offset. I inked around it a little bit to make it look like it was worn. This paper is from our host rewards section, and we have a very large paper pack, and one side of it is all colorful patterns. The other sides are all black and white. So that's where I got this. There's still that black and white paper that is from the Valentine's set that is still active from the January to June catalog. You could use that as well. I just had to use the black and white because the pinstripe card base was blue and it didn't really go with this. But depending on what your team colors are, you could, just look for a different paper that would work for you. So this is the one I chose. And then I added the black enamel dots, and I made our little P with our alphabet dies, and I used the adhesive foam sheets and cut it out that way. And then this I heat embossed with black embossing powder to say you're the greatest of all time, and just put this baseball bat behind it. And inside, this is just how I decorated it. I just added a little stitching to bring some black into it with a little micron pen. That's what I used, or you could use the small end of your Stampin' Write markers. But I just thought this one turned out really cute, and I did the envelope to match as well. So you could take your team colors and do something like that. This could be also a great graduation card for someone who played baseball or softball. Do it in their school colors, and it would be really fun. Don't forget that if you sign up to be my Paper Pumpkin customer, every month I do a alternative card that's specifically for them, that is once the kit supplies are gone and you just have your stamp set, then that's usually what I use to make that alternative card. As always, remember to be kind, send a card, and do something creative. Bye-bye.